Hello and welcome back to Living Not Existing. As always, I'm Josh and here's little Archie. But yeah, so today's episode, I'm finally, look, well he's off then, he's getting started already. But yeah, I'm finally getting my pond made. At last, long last, something I've been wanting for years now was a pond. So I'm finally getting it done. So as you've seen before, I've got that black barrel-y water tank thing kicking about to make it into the pond, but the top had been cut off and stuff like that. So of course that's going to be getting sunk into the ground. So basically, well, I actually started cracking on yesterday with things, and I was going to be showing this next clip after this. However, I've decided against that now, because basically it was just a clip of my bum wiggling around as I was digging, and well, some of you might want to watch that, but like, I don't think that would be a very popular thing to watch, me just wiggling my bum around digging a hole. So yeah, so basically I'm going to jump outside now and show you what I've done so far. So basically what I've done is, as I've cleared this entire area behind me over where Archie stood, and if you remember, it had just benches and that vinyl-y stuff down and windows, and obviously the windows were piled up like there and stuff like that, and all sorts of bits and bobs kicking about on it, and it was just generally just the junk piled corner really. So I've cleared that off, and then what I've done, if you can see straight above my head, but I'll take you over a bit closer, is there was this green water barrel thing. You can sort of see it inside of there, and I'd had that kicking about. It was already on the plot when I got it. And then my neighbour Gary, he actually gave me it last year, actually, believe it or not, a little tap to go in the bottom of it. And I'd never put it in yet, so I finally did that. I crawled inside and screwed all the tap into place. And then what I've done is I put it on this little stand that was kicking about, and just to raise it up, obviously create better, well, so you'll get the same amount of pressure anyway, but sort of a better pressure thing. Because what I'm going to do with that is I'm actually going to link the tap bit up onto the barrel, which I shall show you in a bit. I'm saying that, looking at it, I might need to get some adapters for that. But yeah, so basically I'll tell you the gist of what's going to be happening shortly. But so what I've done as well is, the reason why I basically cracked on with this yesterday and needed to get cracking on with it, is I got given these trees, sort of bush things, as you can see, and they were given and they were just not in any soil, so they were just going to die off straight away. And as you can see, they're all pretty weepy and sad looking today, but they're all in there, giving them plenty of water and everything like that. We'll give them a bit more water in a minute or so as well. I haven't watered them yet today, just to try and, obviously when they've disturbed the root system so badly, they need to try and get what they can through the little they've got left on them. So hopefully they'll grow, and then the idea is, the reason why they're there is I'll try and cover over that water barrel so it's like it's not even there, so you can't even see it on the whole scenic thing. And then what else I've done when I was on about digging holes, because obviously I dug holes to put them in, is, not that you can really see it for the shadow, I'll try and move around so you can tell a bit better. There we go. So I've dug this big hole, and Archie, would you like to demonstrate for me how big it is? Thank you. So yeah, that's the big hole in which the tank is going to be going in, which the tank is there behind me. So basically, and obviously a big pile of mud. But yeah, so basically that tank's going to go in there, and then that's going to become the fish, what am I on about? I might put some fish in it, don't know. But that's going to become the pond anyway. And yeah, so that's that's what I've been cracking on with basically. And then if you can see just there as well, I've got those couple of conifer things that I got. Thank you, you brought me a stick. But yeah, so I've got those couple of conifer things that are over there where Archie is, and they're going to be going in right there and there as well. And just to have a little bit of niceness, scenic sort of stuff behind the actual pond. So I'm going to crack on and get the pond put into place, get those conifers dug into place and get it all packed down the sides, and then once I've done that, I'll show you how it's all looking. Right, so as you can now see behind me, I've now got those couple of conifer bushes in, and I've also got the water tank put in for the pond. Now what I'm going to do next is I've got to fill this pond up, because basically what I'm starting to do, when I was digging the conifer bushes in, which as you can see are a little bit half dead, but that's because, you know, they've been sat over there for nearly a year or so, So quite good that these two have survived. I did have 4, but the other 2 have put over in the chicken pen because they've not actually got any greenery left on them. So I think they're dead. But if they come back alive, they come back alive. I'll see what happens with them. But yeah, but these 2 are looking all right. So they've been put in because they're the 2 greenest looking ones, and they should pull back around, fingers crossed, all being well. And what I was doing when I was actually digging the hole to set them into, I was putting a bit of the soil down the side of the tank to fill it back in, and it was actually starting to bow the tank in. So what I've done is I've thought, right, fill that up first, and then when that gets so far full, start filling around the edges so that it doesn't bow it in. And because it's better it bowing out than it is bowing in, because I'd prefer to have a bigger pond than a smaller pond, you know. So yeah, so that's that. But before I fill this up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it with gravel, with those the little pea stone gravels bits that I got out of where the polytunnel now is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fetch a load of that, because it's all just in a big pile, and put some of that in the bottom, because basically I have fish tanks at home, and I'm sort of treating this like that kind of thing, with it being like, it's going to be like a wildlife pond, but I'm trying to think, right, what natural things are there? And in a fish tank, you put down your substrate, it's called, which is like, you know, your stone or your sand or whatever it is you have in the base of your fish tank. And basically what that does is that actually stores a load of good bacteria, which helps with like treating the water and everything and stuff like that. And basically kind of like how you have those little Yakulty things or whatever for your gut, and it does good bacteria in your gut to help your digestive system. It's kind of a similar process with a fish tank, or a pond as this may be. So basically I'm going to start filling the bottom with this with stones, and then start filling it up. So I'm going to start getting stones now, because it's going to take me a while. Right, so I've now got the pond behind me sorted out, and basically I've made a bit more progress than expecting to, because, well, I got the stones in, and I started setting it off, filling it with water, and it took forever to fill it with water, absolutely forever. And I've killed off my battery for using my pump and all sorts of stuff. Nightmare, absolute nightmare. And a bit of sediment kind of comes up out of the water. I found like an algae sort of sedimenty thing that was floating around in the water, and it's clear enough, the water, but all the sediment's floated to the bottom, so you can't see the stones. But while it was filling up, basically I was just tinkering and I started decorating. So I've now got it like that. So as you can see at the back there, in between the 2 conifers, I've got my garden tools graveyard. They're just bits and bobs I've found around the plot as I've been going around. So you've got fork end, spade end and a hoe end in there. And then just around the bottom, there's a sleeper there that was actually the back one off of the big greenhouse base where the polytunnel now is. And it was in my way, and I just walked along it with my feet, measuring it out, and it was the perfect length for going exactly where it is there, so couldn't have got any better for that. And then the other wood, the couple of pieces you can see laid about, the long one in front and either side, that was dug out when I was digging out for the carrot shed, for getting that into place. And so they actually just turned up these old sort of half rotten pieces of wood, and I thought, oh well, they'll look nice around my pond. But then as for inside it, see with it all full now, you can sort of see the bottom a bit, and obviously it's just got like a layer of sort of like greeny mud on it, but it is all stoned out on the bottom there. And then over in this corner as well, as you can see, I've got this pile of stones that's laid in like a staircase fashion. Now I'm not trying to make it look like a swimming pool. What it is it's anti-hedgehog drowning is what the idea is. So should a hedgehog stupidly walk along here and go spladunk and land in there, then they can go along and climb their way back out. Same with a bird or anything else that doesn't want to be in there, basically, because there is a little bit of a gap on the edge, so I've stepped it up so there's a way for them to get out, hopefully, all being well. And fingers crossed, I haven't yet, but fingers crossed there isn't a dead hedgehog. But yeah, so there's that. And then eventually what I'm going to be doing here is I am going to be putting some flowers around the base and around there, and generally just making it look nice, really, I suppose, just having it a nice looking corner, because when you stand back a bit and you sort of look at the grand scheme of things, it looks rather nice in that corner, I think. Anyway, I'm quite pleased with how it's looking anyway. So yeah, but that's that really. I can't really do much else on the actual sorting out of the pond now, because unfortunately I can't really get hold of any plants to go in it at the moment because of obviously the situation at hand we're all in. So there's that, and then obviously I need to wait for frogs to move in or find some frog spawn or tadpoles or something like that. So yeah, that's it really for now. I can't think of anything else I can do to it, but I'm happy with how it looks for now, and then it's only going to get better in the future. So I suppose there'll be a making a pond part 2 in the future. But yeah, so that's part 1 for now. So that's that. I finally got my pond made. I'm ecstatic. As I was saying at the beginning, I've been wanting one for years, so I'm well happy that I finally got it sorted. And then the actual materials for having a pond on here have probably been here about a year now, and I've just never managed to get it done. So yeah, I'm well happy, and it's right there. I can look out at it from being sat here and everything. It's brilliant. You can just sit and watch, and well, if I'm actually sat on the other side seat to this one, I can look out the main window and I can watch all my chickens, I can watch my plants, and I can watch my pond. And what more do you want when you sat having a brew in your allotment shed? It's lovely. But yeah, so then obviously for now on the pond front, that's it, as I've said, because obviously I need plants and something living in it really. So until I get that lot, I can't really do much more else. And then, so yeah, there'll be a part 2 coming in the future. And who knows, by part 2, there might even be something living in it. And if I ever spot anything, I'll be shotting it onto the Facebook and Instagram straight away, a video or a picture or something like that. So keep an eye on them. As always, the links are down below. But yeah, so that's it for today. So thank you all very much for watching. Hopefully you all get ponds, because they're a brilliant thing to have around. Because the frogs and stuff like that you have in a pond, in a wildlife pond like this in your garden, they actually hop around and go and eat all your slugs and your bad bugs and stuff like that off your plants without damaging your plants. Like, so if you had like ducks and chickens, for example, and left them roaming around and they were eating the bugs, chances are they're also going to eat and knacker your plants. So they're not the best idea. Frogs though, they don't knacker your plants, so that's all good. So I'd advise maybe even just a little thing of water, just kind of making it into some surrounded wildlife thing, to give them a little bit of something to go into, and you might be able to tempt a frog or frogs into your garden, which is a perfect thing. Or even newts as well, they're also a really good thing for the same sort of idea. But yeah, so that's it. So thank you all very much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell button, check out those Facebook and Instagram links down below, and until next time, I'm Josh, been living not existing. Goodbye.